Now at 5, all of us are dealing with snow. In some cases, it's several inches. Doug Hetty will break it all down for us. Plus, the latest on road conditions as accident reports climb around the area. And we check out the efforts of road crews trying to clear the way.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's a mess out there. This is a look at Joplin, but it's much the same all across the 4 states. The snow, along with ice, has created hazardous road conditions and forced schools and businesses to close. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Just how bad is it out there, and what should we expect next? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Well, thankfully, all the snow and the sleet is done with. We could see a few flurries as we go through the evening hours, but we also have to deal with the cold, which is going to be rolling in for us tonight. Officially in Joplin, 2.5 inches today. Puts us just shy of 11 inches for the season. Average is 12.5, forecasted was 13. Last year, we had 7 inches, so we've already surpassed what we saw last year. You can see the main roads looking better, but look at the temperatures. We're sitting into the lower 20s. We got teens once you get out across southeastern parts of Kansas, and you can see that heavy swath of sleet and snow, mainly right along the I-44 corridor. Some areas got 4 inches, even a little bit more in other spots. Now, we are going to warm back up. It's going to take a couple days, and we do have more snow in the forecast. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Various roads around the 4 states are packed with snow and can be hazardous. In Joplin, there was a rollover crash on Range Line near River Road. One woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries in that case. Authorities have worked numerous accidents throughout the day across southeast Kansas as well. Cherokee, Crawford, and Bourbon counties have been dealing with dozens of crashes and slide-offs. Those include a head-on crash on Highway 69 in Cherokee County. Authorities say one driver simply lost control. Both drivers involved in that crash were taken to the hospital. It's a reminder that in weather like this, caution is everything.
We just encourage people to try to be safe and slow down again. And if at all possible, on days like this, just don't be out.
Cherokee County Sheriff Brian Henderson says if you have to be on the roads, leave early so you have extra time to drive slowly. Crews with the Department of Transportation in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma say they've been working nonstop to try to treat the roadways. Area cities say they also have crews working to plow and salt major roads in town. Workers have been on the road since last night to try and get as much snow and ice cleared as possible.
We have most of our roads are still completely covered with snow and ice. We had a little bit of ice come in before the snow. So it is treacherous, and we would advise people to delay travel. Our crews are out working 24/7, and we are covering all the highways.
Road crews for both the cities and highways ask that drivers do not try to pass them when they're working on clearing roadways. They say they're out there because it's slick, so trying to pass is not safe. The hazardous conditions aren't just in the immediate area. This is video from the Oklahoma City area, where icy conditions have led to numerous crashes starting last night, continuing through the day. Several semi-trucks have blocked traffic for at least a time. Traffic came to a standstill on Interstate 40. You can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code. It'll direct you to links on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for information on each of the 4 states in our viewing area. Now, as you go out to your car, you might find it covered in snow and ice. Local experts advise taking the time to clear it from every part of your vehicle before hitting the road. They say not only does this ensure your own safety, but could also help prevent serious hazards for other drivers and pedestrians.
Any snow or ice left on a vehicle, on the roof, for example, that's going to become dislodged, and it can become dislodged while you're driving, and particularly at higher speeds. If you're on the highway, those chunks of ice coming off your vehicle can have the same force as bricks being thrown from your vehicle.
Local experts also say one area people commonly forget to clear is their tail lights. Even if the worst of the weather has passed, a lot of schools, like Commerce, Oklahoma, have already announced school will be closed tomorrow. To stay up on all of the latest school, government, and church closings, Just scan this QR code and go straight to the closings page of our website. Still ahead, climbing costs.
Inflation is going up, and there are fears it could go even higher. I'm Kelly O'Grady, and I'll tell you why.
But first, the return of some nearly eradicated diseases as vaccinations drop. That's coming up in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, children with ADHD are more likely to use nicotine or tobacco within 9 years of their diagnosis. A study published in JAMA Network found the greater the ADHD symptoms, the higher the risk of nicotine or tobacco use. Healthcare professionals say early diagnosis and treatment of ADHD is key to preventing this, and more research is needed on the cause of the connection. Health officials in western Texas are trying to contain a measles outbreak among mostly school-aged children. Officials have confirmed at least 15 cases. It's the latest outbreak of a disease which had been virtually eliminated in the U.S., and it comes as vaccination rates are declining. Manny Bojorquez takes an in-depth look at the impact of the under-vaccinated.
Tampa area mom Tiffany Vargas says her 8-year-old daughter, who she asked not be identified, has not received childhood vaccines.
So no measles, no chickenpox, no polio.
Nothing.
And why is that?
Well, I started doing research, and I saw that a lot of doctors were just having a really hard time answering the questions that I had.
Her questions go beyond long-established safety studies to whether there's enough transparency from the medical community on possible side effects. Her research, she says, includes reading vaccine warning labels and looking into their ingredients.
We're not anti-vaccines. We just want our questions answered.
In Florida, parents like Vargas can opt out of vaccinating their children using a religious exemption, which is one reason Vargas moved her family out of New York.
I saw that this was going to be an issue, that I wouldn't be able to exercise my right as a parent to choose what would be best for my child.
The vaccination rate for Florida kindergartners has fallen to 88.1%, the lowest in decades. Nationwide, at least 10 states have also seen some vaccination rates fall.
90% is not anywhere near good enough.
Dr. Jeffrey Goldhagen is a pediatrician and professor at the University of Florida.
What does it mean if these rates continue to go down?
It means increased numbers of children infected. It means epidemics of measles. We are at great risk for the reemergence of polio in this country.
While the vast majority of medical organizations say childhood vaccines are safe and effective, it's not enough for parents like Tiffany Vargas.
So is it safe to say that you're more concerned about possible side effects from a vaccine than you are her possibly getting measles or polio or something like that?
100%.
She's as convinced in her approach as most doctors are about theirs. Manuel Bojorquez, CBS News, Tampa.
The U.S. has confirmed at least a dozen deaths from pertussis or whooping cough last year, according to CDC data, the most deaths since a 2017 surge of the illness. The number of shark bites has dropped significantly. There were only 47 unprovoked shark attacks worldwide in 2024. That's according to the Florida Museum of Natural History, and it's 22 fewer than the year before. The majority of shark attacks are not fatal, and many are from juvenile sharks who can't yet distinguish from humans and their prey. Kids sharks these days. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our Pet Vet on Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about doggy paws and road de-icing chemicals.
Plus, the cold temperature is really working in for us tonight. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, kind of a nasty day for us today after the snow and the sleet that we saw during the morning hours. We had a pretty good round of thunder snow and thunder sleet at about 6, 7 o'clock during the morning. Of course, we still have snowpack. A lot of the main roads are doing better. A lot of the back roads still in pretty bad shape. Of course, our temperature is well below freezing. And as we continue to drop tonight and the sun goes down, make sure you are very careful on the roadways. Upper teens, southeastern Kansas, and then we go into the mid-20s once you get into our southern counties. Here's a live look. 7th, the range line setting at 22. Northwesterly winds at about 10, so that makes it feel like 10 degrees outside for us right now. Through the evening, we slide back through the mid-teens, may have a random flurry or two, but this whole storm system quickly rotating away from us. We still have the clouds, but we'll start to break out and see clear skies late tonight, meaning we're going to have the sunshine for us tomorrow. Here's our next storm system developing off the coast of California, and that system will start to affect us as we go into the weekend. All right, let's go through time. For us tonight, clouds start to break, but look at these temps down to 10 in Stockton, 12 in Neosho, 12 in Miami, 6 in Chanute. So a bitterly cold night for us tonight. As we get into about the noon hour, temperatures get into lower 20s once we get into the afternoon. Still very cold, but at least we're going to have some sunshine, even though we're not going to hit freezing. The sun's energy will help melt off a pretty good chunk of snow. 28 in Monette. Let's go 30 at Grand Lake, 27 in Pittsburgh. By Thursday night, still cold, upper teens to near 20 degrees. We get some clouds in here Friday morning, but a warm front shifts through, and look at our temps. We shoot up into the mid 40s by Friday afternoon. And then once we go into Saturday, we'll start to see some chances for showers developing. All right, day planner on your Thursday, 12 to start, 23 by noon. High temp, only 28 degrees. That's all we can do. And if we look at our upper level flow, so here's the cold temperatures, anything really under 40, you can see the cold air will start to retreat by the time we get into Friday and Saturday morning, but it slides right back in on Sunday into Monday. It retreats a little bit early next week and then right back in as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. So overall, yes, we're going to have up and down temperatures, but overall our temperatures are going to be below average as we go through about the next week. All right, let's go into our next storm system. Here's Saturday. This system kind of develops as it's pushing through. I do think we'll get some showers, and on the back side of this system by Saturday evening, we could get a little quick band of snow. Still 3 days away, so we'll have to see how this sets up. Doesn't look like a big storm system, but something we'll keep our eyes on, and then that will start to push out of here by the time we head into Sunday morning. All right, let's go 28 on your Thursday, but 46 on Friday, so a good return. 50 on Saturday, but dropping. That rain switching over to a little bit of snow. Only 30 on Sunday, back to 46 Monday, back down to 35 on Tuesday. Also another chance to get a wintry mix on Tuesday.
Not much time to thaw before we get some more.
No, not at all.
Thanks, Doug. Artificial intelligence has been touted as a groundbreaking tool in the fight against climate change, but new research warns the expansion of AI could create a higher climate risk. A report from Britain's Royal Academy of Engineering calls for the UK government to receive mandatory reporting on their power and water usage as they operate in massive data centers that use vast amounts of power and need cooling systems to prevent equipment from overheating. With world powers racing to become leaders in AI, experts say demands for natural resources are skyrocketing and must be managed wisely. Coming up, prices have climbed recently. We're going to tell you how much they were up in January compared to the same time last year. Topping today's Consumer Watch, inflation is starting the new year on the rise. A government report shows overall prices increased 3% in January from the year before. That's higher than analysts anticipated and moving further from the Federal Reserve's target of just 2%. Kelly O'Grady breaks down the data.
Food prices are heading in the wrong direction, and eggs are one reason why. An ongoing bird flu outbreak is creating shortages and leading to some empty store shelves.
That's insane. Like, where are the eggs?
Those who can find eggs are paying much more. Prices jumped 15% in January and are up a whopping 170% since 2019. Consumers are not only seeing higher prices at the grocery store, but also at restaurants. Waffle House added a 50-cent surcharge for eggs. Lynn's restaurant outside of Minneapolis is doing the same.
We felt bad, but the only thing we could do is go to the menu, and we did a temporary surcharge of 35 cents per egg.
It remains to be seen where we are going with inflation.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says rising rent and housing costs continue to drive overall inflation higher. And many economists are trying to gauge the future impact of President Trump's tariffs on imported goods.
if those tariffs stayed in place for a number of months, we would see prices go up and we would see the inflation rate rise.
All this is bad news for people looking to get a loan. With prices moving higher, the Federal Reserve is expected to leave interest rates alone at its next meeting in March, and the Fed is not likely to cut rates again until inflation starts easing. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Coca-Cola CEO says it might ramp up use of plastic bottles and raise prices due to President Trump's 25% tariff on aluminum imports. The beverage company currently imports aluminum for cans from Canada, though it could shift to look for domestic aluminum sources. Last year, Coca-Cola cut its sustainability goals with a goal of using 35 to 40% of recycled material by 2035, down from the previous goal of 50%. Missouri's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Starbucks, claiming its diversity, equity, and inclusion practices violate federal and state law. The complaint claims that the coffee chain isn't hiring the most qualified people, resulting in slower service and higher prices. Starbucks says it disagrees with the suit and that the claims are inaccurate. Our pet vet on call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a nation came together after a tragedy 16 years ago. We're going to look at the continuing effort to promote air safety. Then on KOAM News at 6, we told you teams from the transportation departments of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma are busy making roads safer. We're going to hear from them about some of the challenges they face. Plus, a local sheriff talks about some driving habits that put motorists most at risk. And the Pitt State women's basketball team receives its highest ranking in 8 years. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. We hope your pets are inside or have other adequate shelter in this nasty weather, but any time of year, pets occasionally do have to go outside. Today's question for our pet vet on call: are winter road treatment chemicals harmful to my dog's paws?
Yes, they are, even those that are allegedly safe for your pets. They are very concentrated salts and chlorides that can really harshly dehydrate, crack, and make their paws sore. If they lick them, they can ingest enough to get sick, like diarrhea, vomiting, dehydration, and all that goes with that. So best thing to do is avoid the salted areas, stay on the grass, and maybe even invest in some booties. That helps a lot.
You know, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to PetVet, KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this adult male poodle mix. Looks a little like a snowman with two eyes made out of coal. His name is Gary. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have this stunning little lady. She's a senior Siamese. At first, she was very shy, but the society says she's now one of the cats in the lobby, greeting guests and ruling like the queen bee she is. Her name is Chica. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? The roads are slick out there, are likely to stay slick in many areas, at least for a while. So please, if you must be out, be careful.
Yeah, and it's going to be cold. Temperatures tonight down to about 9 or 10 degrees. Wind chill near 0. 28 tomorrow, so we don't get above freezing. But the sun, the energy of the sun will help melt off a good chunk of snow. And then we get to 46 on Friday. We have some rain chances that could end with a little bit of snow on Saturday evening. And then additional chances once again by next Tuesday. So we're not done with winter yet.
A lot to watch in the days ahead. We're going to leave you tonight with some Skywatch drone video from over Carthage. Of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. In the meantime, please do be careful out there and let's make it a great evening.